All right. So you know how you asked for some interesting deep dives into like unique places around the world?
Sure.
Well, today we are going to be talking about Nalagarh, which is in Himachal Pradesh in India.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of this place before?
I have. I know a little bit about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks pretty cool. I was reading up on it. Um, this place is kind of nestled right at the foot of this mountain range called the Shivalik Range, and it borders Punjab. So you've got kind of two different regions coming together, which I think makes it really interesting. And actually, it's often called the gateway to Himachal, I guess, because of this.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that too.
Yeah. So today what we're going to be doing is taking a deep dive into Nalagarh, its history, its geography, just kind of looking at what makes it so unique. What do you say? You ready to get started?
Absolutely. Let's dive in.
Okay, cool. So like I mentioned, it's called the Gateway to Himachal.
Yeah.
But what I'm curious about is like beyond just its location, what kind of history are we talking about here? What makes Nalagarh historically significant?
Well, one of the fascinating things about Nalagarh is that it was actually the capital of a princely state called Hindur way back in the 15th century.
Wow.
So we're talking about a long, rich history, and I think you can really see that legacy in its architecture.
Oh, okay. So like what kind of architecture are we talking about? Like what stands out to you?
Well, the most iconic example has to be the Nalagarh Fort.
Okay. Saw some pictures of that. It looks really cool.
Oh, yeah. It's an impressive structure. It was built in the Mughal style, which is known for its grandeur, its arches, and its intricate details. And here's the really cool part. It's actually been transformed into a heritage resort now.
Wait, so you're telling me that this like centuries-old fort is now a place where people can stay?
Exactly. I think it's a brilliant idea, really. It preserves a significant part of history while also offering a unique tourism experience, right? I mean, where else can you step back in time and enjoy modern comforts at the same time? And get this, the fort's location, high up, it gives you the most incredible panoramic views of the Sirsa River and the Punjab plains.
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing. I'm putting this place on my travel list for sure.
You should. It's worth it.
Okay, so we've talked about this amazing fort, and you mentioned the Sirsa River and the Punjab plains. So let's zoom out a little bit. What's the overall geography of Nalagarh like? What's the climate like there?
Well, geographically, Nalagarh sits at an elevation of about 1,200 feet. So it's not super high up, which means it has this really pleasant, moderate climate for most of the year.
Okay, so not too hot, not too cold.
Exactly. And the landscape around it is really picturesque. It's this nice mix of rolling green hills and flatter plains, very scenic.
It sounds idyllic.
Yeah.
But I was also reading that Nalagarh is pretty close to a major industrial area, right? How does that kind of juxtaposition work?
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic for sure. You see, it's right next to the Baddi Nalagarh industrial area, which is actually a huge hub for pharmaceuticals and FMCG companies. Yeah, so it brings a lot of economic activity and opportunities to the region, but, it also raises some questions about how to balance this growth with the preservation of Nalagarh's historical and natural beauty.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like this constant push and pull between progress and preservation, I guess.
Is it something a lot of places are grappling with?
So besides being an interesting place in its own right, it sounds like Nalagarh could also be a great base for exploring the wider region, right? What else is there to see nearby?
Absolutely. Its location makes it perfect for that. For instance, you have Ramgarh Fort and Gobind Sagar Lake, which are not too far away. So you've got more historical sites and some beautiful nature to explore.
Okay.
And then if you're up for a bit of a drive, you can head to the Pinjore Gardens in Haryana. They're really quite stunning.
Interesting.
And of course, if you're looking for that classic hill station experience, you're not too far from places like Kasali and Solan, where you can enjoy cooler weather and those breathtaking mountain views.
So many options. It sounds like a great place to start a longer trip. So practically speaking, how easy is it to actually get to Nalagarh?
Well, getting there is pretty straightforward. It has good road connections, and the closest major city is Chandigarh, which has an airport and a railway station. It's only about 60 kilometers from Nalagarh.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient. It's actually become quite a popular weekend getaway spot for people from Chandigarh and the surrounding areas.
So let me see if I can summarize all this. Nalagarh, formerly the capital of the princely state of Hindur, is this fascinating town with a rich history, evident in its Mughal-style architecture, particularly the Nalagarh Fort, which is now a heritage resort with amazing views.
Right.
It has a really pleasant climate and beautiful surroundings. And even though it's close to a major industrial hub, it still retains its own unique charm and also serves as a gateway to explore all these other attractions in the region.
That's a great summary. It really highlights the multiple layers of Nalagarh.
Hmm.
You've got the historical legacy, the geographical beauty, and the modern economic forces all coming together.
Yeah, and I think what's really sticking with me is this idea of Nalagarh being a gateway, not just geographically, but also in a more metaphorical sense.
Yeah.
It's like a place where the past and present, the plains and the hills, kind of meet and blend together. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, about how regions that exist on the edges of different worlds, how they navigate those transitions and forge their own identity.
It does. It really does. Nalagarh's a great example of that.
It is. Well, this has been a really fascinating deep dive. Thanks for sharing your insights on Nalagarh with us.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk about unique places like this.
Absolutely. And to all our listeners, if you get the chance to visit Nalagarh, let us know what you think.
Yeah, we'd love to hear about your experiences.
All right, until next time, happy exploring.
See ya.